It's now time to address Dewdrops and Words. The gracious hostess here is an author. Her beautiful name is Mrs. Shabnam Samuel Takar. This author's book is called A Fractured Life, and it is about to be released. We will keep you posted. Anyway, here on the screen, Shabnam ji has invited a very, very well-known guest. Let's meet. Come on close.
Abla, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I was reading about you. You have such an interesting and diverse profile. You're a businesswoman, investor, speaker, philanthropist, publisher, television artist, and visionary behind the A, which is a multifaceted boutique event production, staffing, and media firm, correct?
Yes, correct. That's correct.
So I know to ask you this question is a little unfair. It's like asking her mother who her favorite child is. But I have to ask, which these roles that I just rolled out and spoke about,
Yes.
which to you speaks the most? Which one of these roles speaks to you the most?
You know, that's an easy question. I can certainly tell you which of my three boys is my fave.
Oh my. I hope they're not watching this show.
They are watching the show. It'll be the one with the last name Doku. How's that?
Okay, they all have the
They're all Dokus, okay?
Okay, good, good.
So I really and truly take pleasure in creating opportunities and platforms that spotlight and also create exposure for other business women.
Okay.
And so ultimately, everything that I do funnel and channels and goes towards that mission, that goal.
So all of these segments somehow lead into that platform for
Absolutely.
women. Oh, that's
Yes.
awesome. That's absolutely awesome. So can you tell me a little more about when you say women, how do you reach out to them? What attracts them to come to you and talk to them about their business, or what do you do for them?
So obviously, in any business, marketing is important. And I have been doing this for the past 5 years or so. So people begin to know and recognize what I do, and they're able to come in, and sometimes I'll go out. So obviously, you have to go out and say, this is what we are doing. We can promote you through our trade shows. We can promote through our magazines. We can do so online. So we have various avenues available to all these business owners to actually come in and get the exposure that they need for their business.
Oh, that's wonderful. So how do you reach these local businesses, or is it just local, or do you do national also?
Currently, it's just the DMV area. We actually have plans in place to roll out and get into the Houston and Miami markets this year. So that'll be interesting. We'll see how that goes.
So how do you reach out to them? Is there a specific channel that you use?
Mostly we go through online advertising.
Okay.
We also use ambassadors who share our vision and share the word about what we do. And as long as, my experience is that as long as business owners are getting return on investment, they are willing to come back. And so you're not constantly looking for the next person, because they're coming back to
Right.
keep working with you.
Got you. So do you have any favorite businesses that you'd like to work with, or is it open to all kinds of businesses?
Our niche is primarily the wedding industry. And so businesses that cater to brides, businesses that work with grooms, those are the businesses that we primarily go for.
Okay.
However, someone like a realtor, they don't directly work with brides or grooms. However, after marriage, the next big thing is what? Buying a home together. And so those kind of, and financial advisors, those are some of the other people who are not directly related to the wedding industry, but are beneficial to the brides that we work with. So we would like to bring them on as well.
Oh, that is interesting. Okay, I didn't even think about, getting married and then the homes and
Yes, and then the kids.
So tell us what inspires you. When you wake up in the morning and you say, yes, this is it. This is what I'm going to go out and do. What is that force behind you?
You know, it's several things really, but I have to say one of them stands out. Growing up, my father will every now and then say these words: never say die until the boots are rotten. Now, he was a military man, okay? And if you think about it, we all need shoes, we all need boots, but for a soldier, that's even more critical.
It's very essential.
Right? It's part of their defense, it's part of their protection. And as long as they have their boots on, they can keep fighting, they can keep living, they can keep going. And so when I open my eyes in the morning, I tell myself, the boots are not rotten. I am still here. I can do this, I can keep going, and I can keep fighting. And that always keeps me going.
Awesome. That's a good thought to remember. Now, so can you tell us a little bit more about your trade magazine, The A Bridal? And this is the magazine, correct?
Yes.
So this is the magazine.
This mag actually catered to readership in the DMV area, Arlington, Bethesda, Baltimore, Fairfax County, Loudoun County. We print out about 8,000 copies per issue. The goal is that we'll keep on increasing that as we get bigger and bigger. And we aspire to have the top-notch vendors in the magazine. We aspire to bring tips, insights from professionals who are in the industry, and to help the brides to be able to get the top vendors that they could possibly find for their big day.
Got you. And so what are the distribution channels for this? How do people, somebody wanting to get married tomorrow, how do they get this magazine?
If you want to get married tomorrow,
don't do it.
You can find it we actually have copies online, so we have the digital copy, so anyone can go to theabridalmagazine.com and be able to actually flip through just as though they had their hard copy with them. But to have the hard copy, we have partnered with trade shows in the area where we do distributions. We also have some strategic partners that we actually have copies with, where people can also have copies at. They also online, people can put in their address and we'll mail them a copy.
Awesome. Now, Washington, D.C., the area where we live, you know, it's home to such a diverse population. So many different communities, so many different cultures.
Yes.
How do you reach out to, do you go beyond certain cultures, or are you just bracketed within?
I certainly do. I am from a different culture. You're from a different culture. And the model on this particular magazine is actually originally from Ghana.
Pretty.
Now, the next magazine that's coming out, actually the end of March, I have a beautiful Indian young woman who is going to be on the cover. So I am very much into diversity. I'm very much about reaching everyone and anyone. So we've not secluded ourselves, but we're reaching out to anyone who is getting married, who wants to have the best vendors possible for their wedding, because at the end of the day, you want your day to be as beautiful as possible. The best show possible, right?
Correct.
And it cannot happen when the vendors that you have are not top-notch and don't know their stuff.
Right. So do you have to do a lot of research? Like you mentioned an Indian bride. Did you have to do research into her background, what the Indian culture requires?
You mean the model? Or if we were to be working?
If it was a bride.
If it was a bride, I would say that in the magazine we have vendors who are actually specialists in Indian weddings, or it could be Sri Lankan weddings. So they know their thing.
The niche. Okay.
My goal, my mission, or our mission at the A is to pair them with the brides who are looking for them.
Got you. So now, what are your plans for the future, and what does 2018 have in store for you?
Oh, so many things I want to do. So, as I mentioned earlier, we have plans actually in the works to expand to Miami area, to Texas. I'm also in the process of writing a book that I'm very excited about. I'm not too sure when it's going to be done, but it's my goal that this is the year that it will actually come out. So those are some of the things that I'm dreaming and working on.
So can you touch on the book a little? Can you, or is it a...
I'll be spoiling it.
Okay, that's fine. That is fine, absolutely
Yes.
fine. So now with the marriage venues and everything else, how do you go about reaching these vendors or picking a venue? Do you take the help of the family, or do you do it on your own and then just come back to them and say, hey, this is the venue, come look at it? Or how do you all meet? Do you all talk?
So we are a resource for both the business owner and also for the person who's getting married.
Okay.
So, for example, we might have someone contact us instead of a vendor who is in the magazine or is online asking. We get this all the time. Who will you recommend for, let's say, to do our florals?
Okay.
Or we are looking for, just recently, in fact, just last week, we are looking for a florist, and it was an Indian wedding. I happen to know them, so they are like, okay, who is the best in the industry? Who should we go for? So we are able to point them in the right direction because we've been in this industry for quite a while. We have built many, many relationships. We know who is doing what, who is who in the industry. And so if someone comes to us directly, we are able to point them to the right person and saying that, okay, you need to speak to this person because they know what they're doing. And we usually will give you 2 or 3 options because options, we're in America, right? We need options.
Too many. Go
Too
down the
many of
cereal aisle.
everything, right? And so that makes it easy for them to be able to talk to those vendors to see if it's a good fit. Because the way I see weddings and vendors, it's as though it's a marriage on its own, because this relationship could last for a year, it could
Right.
last for a year and a half, who knows, 2 years, while they are planning this. So you want to make sure that you are working with someone that you feel comfortable with, someone that you're compatible with. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be fighting, right? You want to be able to have a good relationship and a good wedding.
Absolutely. Now, there's one thing here that I want to pick and ask you about because that speaks to me.
Sure thing.
A woman and a speaker. I love that role, you know, a woman speaking on so many different topics. What do you specialize in as a speaker? What do you talk about?
So that's a new sphere for me.
Okay.
Now, what I love talking about, as you know, I love helping other business women. And one of the things that has helped me in my business is building relationships, forming partnerships. I truly, truly believe in strategic partnerships. It goes such a long way.
Takes a village, right?
Right? And I'm coming from the nonprofit world where you rely on partners and donations for just about anything. And so when I started my own business, I realized you don't have to do this on your own. That's the mindset of a lot of people, as though you don't have to. And you actually don't have to have a whole bunch of money, right? Because a lot of business women, what they'll say is, I don't have money.
Right.
Because I don't have money, I can't do this. I don't have money, so I can't do this market. I'm like, how about you write down the things that you need or the professionals that you need, right? Make a list of it, reach out to them,
Right.
tell them what you're about, bring something to the table. Chances that they need what you have, it's quite high. You might be able to trade with them.
Go back to the old way of doing
what
things.
did our
Yeah.
ancestors do when there was no money?
Exactly.
So you can trade that. You don't have to not succeed in business because you don't have the resources.
This is so wonderful. Thank you so much for being here and talking to us. Is there anything you'd like to tell our viewers? Do you have a website? Do you have anything that they can go look at?
Certainly. Our website is theapulse.com. You can also go to the A Bridal Show or the A Bridal Magazine, and you can find all you need about brides and top vendors in the DMV area. And as I mentioned earlier, we are expanding to Texas, and we also expanding to Miami.
Thank you so much for being here, Abla. I hope you come back
Absolutely.
again.
Thank
and I hope to
you.
attend an event with you, somebody's wedding. We can both go together.
I'm dying to go to do so. Please invite me. I'll be glad to come.
Thank you so much.